Welcome to the Temple of Wisdom. Bow your heads and Voldy, enlighten us with your
Well, before
knowledge.
we get started with anything, we really have to set the tone the proper way when it comes
Oh boy.
to Voldy's virtues. So, if you give me a moment.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. What? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Oh, that's not as easy as it looks. Woo! There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! All right.
Yeah.
There we go. That's how you set the tone here.
Here
Oh,
we go.
all just fun. All right. Starting off, as you could probably see in the lower third below me, numbers. They are ruining baseball. Number of times here on the show when talking about baseball, we have talked about the fact that baseball has decided to start to bring up over the last 5, 6, 10 years or so sabermetrics and obviously the numbers that continue to water down the sport, that information sharing, and thus ruining the game in a world full of information continuing to find ways to critique people down to the most minute detail. Sports has not shied really away from the following of this trend, with baseball obviously being at the forefront of said trend of advanced statistics. Now, like I said, a couple of times in recent weeks, and obviously over the length of the program, we have had seen some rants from yours truly on some of the advanced statistics to throw at fans and how their team is doing. But, and in short, I know that we have had this conversation a few times in the past, but yet there's just another reminder. And once again, numbers are ruining baseball. Let's first take a look at some of these so called stats that have caught my eye and really just I don't agree with why this is a stat or why we even need to be talking about this and how they are measured and what they actually mean. Let's start off here. Of course, one thing when it comes to baseball is obviously being a two-way player, whether it be on offense or defense. Take a look on the defensive side. One stat that I don't understand is range factor, which is determined by dividing the sum of a fielder's putouts and assists by his total number of defensive games played. So, in short, can he play defense or not? If he can't, thank goodness there is the universal DH for some of these said teams. And that is another story to be had, and also conversations and said rant on Voldy's virtues. Another stat I think is completely erroneous and irrelevant is the BABIP, if you will, batting average of balls in play, which is a player's batting average exclusively on balls hit into the field of play, removing outcomes not affected by the opposing team's defense, which is namely home runs and strikeouts. For three true outcomes with that. So whether it's a line drive, line out, swing the butt, 500-foot home run, dribbler up the line, etc., if it's a hit or an out, doesn't matter. Can he get hits? Can he not get out? That's all I need to know. Another stat that I think is a completely stupid thing to even think of or even talk about is LIPS. That's LIPS, late inning pressure situation. Yes, this is an actual stat for advanced statistics and obviously with sabermetrics in baseball, which is defined as any at bat in the seventh inning or later where the batter's team trails by three or fewer runs, is tied or is ahead by only one run. If the bases are loaded and the batting team trails by 4 runs, this also counts as a late inning pressure situation. Look, can the guy get the job done in the eighth or ninth inning or not? Plain and simple. Why do we need a number for that? Is he clutch? Is he not? I can tell you plain and simple. Is he clutch? Is he not? Yes or no? Win probability added. Yes, those three words strung together are a stat. WPA. That is win probability added. A percentage change in the team's chances of winning from one event to the next. It does so by measuring the importance of a given plate appearance in the context of the game. Now, when I hear this, and I also read the description of this, it reminds me of something an old SMSU baseball teammate by the name of Jason Manette used to bring up to me. He said, it relates to the weather. It's either going to rain 0% or 100%. How can you have 60% of rain on a given day? So either the team's going to win or the team's going to lose. It's either 100% or 0%. Nothing more or less. My personal favorite one that we're going to talk about, wins above replacement, which is a player's value in all facets of the game by deciphering how many more wins he's worth than a replacement level player at his same position. So one guy has a higher wins above replacement than another guy. Look, here's my 2 cents on wins above replacement and how stupid it is. If a guy has been 10 years in the minors and says that he's got a better win above replacement than a guy who's just barely scraping by, is making the major league minimum and he's bouncing back and forth through the lineup or not, it's probably not that good to be moving up the ladder if the guy in front of him says is even still on the major league team. So if you're Jackson Holiday in this sense, you go from playing high school and then 2 years later you're making your major league debut at Fenway Park. Seems to me that he's got a pretty good track record to even fast track through the minors and even play in the major leagues shortly after his time, even in high school, through college, now at the major league level. So don't tell me that a guy like Ben Revere has a better wins above replacement than Kirby Puckett. One guy is better, one guy is not. When playing for the Twins, obviously, they either won with him in the lineup or they didn't. Facts are facts. The last one I want to talk about is bequeathed runners and bequeathed runners scored. Now, that is the number of runners left on base by a pitcher when that pitcher leaves the game. Any bequeathed runner who scores on an earned run after a pitcher has left the game will be counted towards that pitcher's earned run average, or ERA. Actually, I'm not even mad about this one. If there's any chance that we could say the word bequeathed on Minnesota Sports Live, I'm pretty happy about that. But wrapping up everything and getting back to the statement as well. Now that we've looked at some of these quote unquote numbers, what do they have to do with anything when it comes to the simple things that come down to the game of baseball? Winning and losing. I'll tell you what, they have nothing to do with winning or losing. Can a guy get hits, runs, walks, RBI, not strikeout, not make errors in the field? It's that easy. Those are the numbers I need. Now, on the flip side, towards pitching, can he strike out batters? Can he keep walks down? Can he eat up innings? Can he not give up hits and home runs? Again, it's that easy. Excuse me. These fabrications of complete and utter nonsense of information keep filling everyone's heads with garbage in a world that is already a landfill. Sometimes the best answer to whether a guy is good or not is simply yes or no. Not throwing out random numbers to solidify a point that can't be answered in half a second. Is he good? Is he not? Yes or no? That's all I need. So let's just keep things simple. As the world is already complicated enough with too much being thrown at us, because at the end of the day, baseball is just a kid's game. You're telling me that Timmy is scouting Johnny's spin rate on his curveball while also trying to make sure his batted ball rate stays at a high and considerable range so that way coach doesn't cut him from the little league team? No, no, he's not doing that. He's out there, he's playing the game, he's getting on base. If he's not, well, he's going to sit on the bench and then somebody else is going to play for him. So please, for the love of God, stop coming up with stats because sometimes we don't need to know everything. Here's what I'd rather like to know. Who killed Kennedy? Tupac? Biggie? Was 9/11 an inside job? Where's Bigfoot? And all other conspiracy theories. Are we alone in the universe? The answer is no, by the way. But that's all the information I need. I don't need wins above replacement. I don't need bequeathed runners and bequeathed runners score. I don't need any of that. Just give me baseball. Is he on base? Is he not? Is he good? Is he bad? The answer to that is yes or no. That is Voldy's virtues.
There's wow. I mean, there's a lot of information to go through, and
Mm-hmm.
Voldy, on this show we have talked about numerous times about how the sabermetrics and analytics just don't necessarily work,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not using it the right way, like like you have eloquently put. I'll keep this short, but again, this I feel like they're trying to get people interested in the sport by having these things and being like, "Hey, look at this, look at this." No one gives a crap. No one cares. Like, you can't have this and then be like, "Wow, we're gonna draw. This is gonna be easy for us to put together." The perfect thing that I think
Right.
we need to do, Voldy, is once we have Coach Bo, Coach Payne, and or Coach Bartle here on this show, we need to ask him this question. Specific, or you need to, because I mean, we got to know, like, hey, I mean, are these, like you've put, here, bequeathed runners and scored, wins above replacement, win probability added? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. So I'm totally with you on it. I think,
Yeah.
getting another perspective too, I think might help, solidify like how dumb this is. So if they use it and they say, listen, actually, it's beneficial, let's hear it. So I don't know. Would you
Mhm.
agree with that or no? Yeah.
Sometimes we need to hear the other side. And gentlemen in the line of work that we speak of would definitely help in that matter for sure. Also, I just don't want my opinion to get completely thrown out and basically get taken out to the woodshed on my answer. So we may hold off on having those guys on sooner than later. Let's let this argument settle for a while before we have them come on and talk
Yeah.
about how much of an idiot I am. So more
Oh,
than usual, I
jeez.
guess.